Hey guys, what's up? It's Tank from X106.5 at the Big Ticket 2017 with Jeremiah from the Lumineers. We're hanging out, and I just want to warn you, I'm like the world's worst interviewer. So
I'm the worst talker. So.
Oh shit, that's bad.
Match made in heaven. I'll help you out. I mean,
okay.
This is the coldest venue, and also it's December 1st, and it was like the hottest day. We're in Florida,
was hot
obviously.
outside.
But this must be the coldest venue I've ever been in.
You know what it is? Is the we have a hockey team here called the Icemen, and the ice is down. And
that's what I heard. I mean, I'm literally like freezing right now.
After this, if you want, we can ice skate.
I'd be
around.
down. That sounds good.
Probably a lot of that will be taking me to the hospital. But after that, you guys could frolic.
That sounds good.
As it were. I'm a big fan, obviously. And Savannah here, she's our assistant. She gave me an interesting factoid about you. Sometimes you play a really big drum.
I do, yeah.
So that's a little something for our viewers, a little insider information. So I'm just curious because you guys do a lot of songs with ladies' names in the thing. Does that ever lead to jealousy amongst with like girlfriends and wives and things like that? Does anybody get jealous? They hear like, oh, who's Cleopatra?
I will say I've heard this question in many different iterations.
Yeah.
I'm married. The singer's married. And Wes actually writes all the lyrics, but I've heard him say this many times. It's never really specific people. It's more the way they sound, like, Ophelia. It's very melodic. If you were to say, for example, Jessica, it wouldn't have the same quite musicality.
Right.
So I don't think there's really any jealousy. I think it's more just a musicality to the names. And for me as a fan and as a writing partner to Wes, I feel like instead of just using he, or in this case she, it gives it the character this sense that you could actually hug them or something like that. They're a real person kind of jumping off the page.
Right.
And not just saying you, she, it, I. It's
that
it's
makes
a little
sense.
less generic, I think, which is really beautiful.
It's not specific, but it makes it less generic.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I get that. I could get down with that. To me, like, I would like the next album to feature a song called Esther. If you guys could if you guys could work that in anyway, I would be phenomenal.
That's a good old-timey name.
Yeah, I like it. Probably name my kid Esther or Gloria.
Yeah.
Gloria Stefan Mitchell. That's probably what I'll go with for my next kid. So I'm just walking down the hall. You guys have like the bands are all in this hallway, and I noticed that I'm not hearing like a lot of music. Is that a thing where people are getting centered for the show, or is it like deeper into their rooms that I'm not allowed in?
It might be
this incident I did
both.
a couple years ago.
It might be both. There was you must have just missed me and the bassist Byron. I was actually just playing the piano and he was on his bass, quite loud. But you might have just missed us.
I must have missed that.
It depends though. I mean, once you get into a groove on tour, there's really no need to play more music.
Well, no, I'm thinking more in like a term, like, on our way here, we were listening to the Gangster Rap channel, getting zoned in for the show. Like, sure. I got to listen to music to kind of get me focused up on what I'm about to do. And obviously, when you're going to make stage announcements, Gangster Rap is the way to go. But, when I picture bands, I feel like you guys just live and absorb music all the time. So it's weird to me that I don't hear more music coming.
Everybody's different. I mean, there's definitely a band member, Stealth in particular, that is literally listening to music all the time, I think. And that's really great. That works for him. Me, on the other hand, I think it's a nice way to decompress and not always be surrounded by it. Like, I do live, breathe, and, die for music, but it's almost more on the plane or something, or the bus, listening to my own ideas, trying to plan for what's to be our third album. And, we're around music so much for our job, and sometimes it's nice to maybe be watching, I don't know, The Big Bang Theory or something totally different than what we're used to.
Now, so is it bizarre to you guys to be like every time you release a song, it's a monster smash, and it's like I don't know, for me, and I don't want to fanboy because I'm such a big fan.
Oh, fanboy.
And I actually bought tickets to your show when you were here in St. Augustine.
Cool.
That may have been the last ticket I bought. Because we get them for free, not because I'm cheap.
No, that's really cool.
But I feel like every time you come out with something new, it gets better and better.
I think we're really lucky. I mean, for me and Wes, it's like, I think some people hire a lot of producers, a lot of ghostwriters. They are just naturally gifted. I think me and Wes as songwriters have some sort of natural gift, but we work so hard on these songs. Even a song like Ho Hey, it's so simple, and we always say, like, anybody can play a Lumineers song, but to write these things, it's an immense amount of work.
Sure.
And if they end up becoming, as your words, a big hit or smash hit,
yeah.
that's icing on the cake. But for us, it's really painstaking, almost agonizing, just sheer amount of hours of taking the song, chopping it up, boiling it down, rebuilding it, and then seeing what's the best version of that song. And it's really hard for us. I mean, it takes us a while to write each song, let alone a full album. So
do you guys get any writing done while you're on the road, or is that kind of a hindrance?
Yeah, you get some writing done on the road in the weirdest times. It's never when you have silence. Like we were on tour with this band called Dr. Dog, and I remember writing this piano idea. There was a grand piano hidden like behind this like AC weird radiator. It's hard to describe, and I picked up the cover and I started playing the piano. And had about like a 30-second window of privacy, and I started recording this, and it became the song on the Cleopatra called "In the Light."
Oh wow!
So this is weird. It's not a very popular song per se, but it's one of my favorites off the record. And recorded it, and then it was like people were coming by, and just the moment was gone. Even the song "Patience," the instrumental that was at the end of the album, was written during another tour. We were opening up for this band called the Civil Wars, and again, I had about a minute on this upright piano before I was asked politely to stop. But I recorded the idea quickly, and I thought, that's really cool. And then years later, 3 or 4 years later, the second album came along, and we remembered it. And so, yeah, it's really strange to write. You always, in my experience, you always write when you least expect it. It's never like the house, you're alone, and you have coffee, and your cell phone's off.
Yeah, you're not sitting down at a typewriter, and then boom.
Sometimes you're just standing up, and you're, what's that? And, oh, I don't know. And then it's really bizarre.
That's
for
awesome,
us.
man.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's the keys to inspiration, and what a great show we've had so far. We're really looking forward to seeing these guys on stage. Jeremiah from the Lumineers. My name is Tank from X106.5 from backstage at the Big Ticket 2017.